Hi, everyone. This is Jacqui Cooper with Crypto Mom 2 talk show. I want to welcome everyone to this episode. And I'd like to ask you to definitely like and subscribe because there's a lot of great conversations happening. And I want to make sure that you're always in the know of what's happening within the blockchain community. So I recently came back from the Bitcoin conference in Miami. And at that conference, I connected with a lot of great people. And I'm definitely pro Bitcoin, but I do have to just put all the disclaimers up. With everything going on in the community, there's always risk involved. So these shows are not legal advice. They're not investment advice. They're, it's purely educational. You need to decide for you and your own family what is best for you. So again, with that, do your own research. But today I want to talk about a platform that I thought was really creative because it is a platform for businesses to use who are in this space. Myself being the author of the Bitcoin Cinderella book, which is on Amazon right now, but I'm really looking for other platforms in which I can share this out within the blockchain community. So I'm always looking for other platforms. And at the conference, I stumbled on Geyser, which we're going to show in just a minute. So for those that are interested in using this platform, you can definitely reach out to the link that will be embedded within the blog. Before I hop over to my special guest, and I'm really excited, that he's on, a little bit of background about me. I'm both an educator as well as an attorney, even though I'm not currently practicing in the traditional sense. But I believe that everyone needs to kind of look at alternative ways to both be financially literate, as well as to support the community and the world that we live in. So I'm always, sharing about alternative things, whether it's solar, whether it's, the decentralized financial markets. Again, I think everyone needs to kind of learn and educate themselves to decide what's best for you and your family. So with that, I want to welcome my special guest. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, great to be here, Jackie.
So why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about yourself, how you ended up, becoming a creator of Geyser, and I'm going to share the platform in a minute, but also where are you located right now? Where are you?
So I'm located in my back garden. I'm sorry, I'm decided
It's
to dump
beautiful. It's
my
just beautiful.
yeah. It's the sun. I haven't seen it in a while, so I thought I'd just take it from outside. Hopefully, you get a glimpse into some bees around here. But I'm in the UK more broadly right now. But I'm actually Italian. I lived in Italy most of my life, traveled around, and then did my university, my master's here in the UK. Ended up staying in this location, but as a Bitcoiner, very much remote and digitally native in spirit. So, but yeah. So how did I start with Geyser? I have a background in UX, UI design and research. So I've been helping build products, software products for more than 5 years. Worked in fintech space, technology, and also kind of crypto space. And what I started noticing around 2-3 years ago was just the power of Lightning, the Lightning Network just being this incredible tool that makes Bitcoin accessible to most people in the world. As you probably know, Bitcoin has some pretty big limitations in terms of its usage. We cannot scale Bitcoin to the world for 7 billion people to use as it is. And Lightning is this incredible technology that enables Bitcoin to scale, and both in terms of the amount of transactions that can be sent, but also in terms of the speed and just how cheap it is to send transactions and micropayments. And what I began to also see is that the Bitcoin community was just doing so much, and there were so many creators and storytellers and video makers like yourself that understood Bitcoin and its power and wanted to contribute in some shape or form. And a lot of these creators also were not technical. and they wanted to tell their story. They wanted to contribute, and there was just no platform. All you had is a Lightning wallet, and that's it. And so my idea was how about we integrate the Lightning Network together with a platform that allows these creators to tell their story, to raise funds from their community, and have the social experience through their community. So that's how I approached my friend, person that I knew from Twitter. We had exchanged a few times some messages, Stelios, and he decided to join me in this adventure. So we co-founded Geyser together around 2 years ago. We started, and we then opened it up really 7 months ago, around October 2022. So now we are, at this point in which they're just clear. It's clear now that there are a lot of creators. Right now, as you can see, there are 661 projects that have been created on Geyser. Almost 20 Bitcoin have been raised in total, and then 35,000 contributors. That's really to show that the community is alive.
Yeah.
That this is a technology that's not just used as a store of value, but it's actually used as a medium of exchange. And I'll say that 80% of all the transactions are on Lightning. In terms of the amounts, most of it is on chain. So Geyser actually works on Lightning and on chain as well, so you can fund on chain. But the cool thing is that all those funds are sent over to your Lightning address. So you have one place where you can receive all your funds.
So for those that are on the video side on my YouTube, definitely, as I mentioned, like and subscribe so you can see this. But also for those that are on the audio side of my talk show, hop over so you can see this. The link will definitely be embedded in both, so you can go and explore. I know I'm going to be putting a project for the Bitcoin Cinderella up there because I want to be able to support the publication of the book for the distribution in different countries, to include El Salvador and other countries. So I'll definitely be putting the project up so people can look for that. How do people get started with this? I'm going to see if I can scroll down. I see launch your project. Let me see if I can. Yep, there we go. All right. So I'm on the launch your project, create a new project, and it talks about raising funds, receiving rewards, updating communities through writing entries. Explain a little bit more. I know I've connected to my Twitter. You can also connect to Nostra. Explain a little bit more about the projects that are being used in this.
Yeah, so to create a project, it's incredibly straightforward. You just need two things. You need to log in your social profile, Twitter or Nostr, and connect either your node or a Lightning address. And then you're basically good to go and start receiving funds. It's incredibly straightforward. And the powerful thing about what we've built is the fact that we don't custody any funds, right? So you receive all the funds straight into your wallet. We just route them through our node so that we're aware that the payment has been made. And then the funds go straight to you. So very much non-custodial. We don't want any ownership of funds. We cannot censor transactions. Excuse me. And if you run your node, it's also free to use. We really support and want to incentivize people to run their nodes. In terms of if you want the easy option is just connecting your Lightning address to a Lightning wallet. In that case, we take 2% fee, which is still nothing compared to the 10% that's taken by the big platform out there. From I think Patreon takes 15%, Kickstarter takes 10%. So we're still taking a lot less than what our competitors do. And the point is really to show the power of Lightning as well, in terms of it reducing massively the costs. I believe 2% is what the banks charge Kickstarter as a whole, and we're charging 2% for everything. So yeah, I think it's really powerful to see the activity that's taking place right now. And guys, there are a lot of creators just creating projects, and to fund, it's also really straightforward. If you want to give it a shot and clicking on a project, you can just click contribute, pay sats, on-chain or Lightning. And you can also buy things, right? So you can also sell and buy we call them rewards, but they're like, items, shop items. So it's really both a place where you can receive donations as well as sell goods and services.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing opportunity um uh, to have a shop basically on here.
Yeah.
I'm you mentioned nodes, and I'm taking putting my toe in the water there. I just purchased a node, and it's going to be
Wow.
coming live within the next few days, and I'm going to be doing another talk show about that because again, I want my hands to kind of try to figure out all these different things because that's all about the learning and excitement about being in the space.
Totally.
So
Yeah, and that's so exciting. Running nodes is how you really get to, dirty your hands and understand why Bitcoin and why Lightning.
mhm.
It's absolutely critical. Yeah.
So for those that are new to the space, that people might have heard about Bitcoin, but they might not really, and I only touched a little bit on it in my second book, The Bitcoin Cinderella and the Seven Dwarfs. Explain why Lightning was needed. I definitely understand what you meant when you were describing how the more that people are using Bitcoin, the the blockchain might be slowing down. But explain why Lightning was needed to be created, because again, so for those that might be new to this, they might not understand why.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I don't think we should ever get tired enough of answering these questions because they're so important and there's so much education that needs to be done. Um, so why Bitcoin? And so Bitcoin, works. Bitcoin is essentially the most decentralized, if not probably could probably even say the only decentralized, fully decentralized cryptocurrency. Um, and it's really achieves that level of decentralization for several reasons. One of them is just the proof of work element, the fact that proof the consensus mechanism of Bitcoin requires energy and not staking. And why that's important is because anyone can get access to energy and have their say, have a vote on the validation of transactions. Whereas in Ethereum or other proof of stake consensus mechanisms, you have to have capital, you have to have Ethereum tokens to have to be a validator. And not everyone has Ethereum tokens, and there's a limit on how many you can purchase because of their price. So that's one element. The second element is just the amount of um, of and of nodes that are actually securing the integrity of the protocol. And Bitcoin, has around 30 to 40,000 individual node runners, whereas and it's really easy to set it up and to run. Whereas Ethereum, I don't know how many, but it's several orders of magnitudes below that. And the reason for that is just it's really complicated to run a node, and that has to do with how the accounting system works in Ethereum because it's account based, and which makes it all more complex to verify all the count all the transactions. Whereas Bitcoin has a UTXO accounting system, which makes it a lot more straightforward to count the coins in the system. So, sorry if I'm getting a little bit into the weeds, but
No, it's
I think
okay. It's okay.
the
I have all different levels of listeners, and so there's some that are newbies, like I was 5 years ago, and there's others that are more technical. So it's okay.
yeah, just a quick overview, right? So we talked about Bitcoin being a most secure monetary protocol because of its decentralization, and then it is also more technically sound when it comes to the secondary layers, right? So Bitcoin by itself works through this blockchain, right, where every 10 minutes there is a block which has a finite space of around one megabyte, and there can only be so many transactions just because of the space, or actually there can be many, but the cost of adding a transaction and increases substantially as the number of transactions increases. So, for example, you probably noticed that there's been a lot of transactions costs going up of Bitcoin on chain, and that's because there's been a lot of people in some ways spamming the network with inscriptions, which are like a bit like NFTs on Bitcoin, right? So this is to illustrate that in this is happening now, but it would happen anyway, this increase in costs, if people were start adopting and using Bitcoin, which is why we need a layer two, right? A layer two is essentially a secondary, like a building on top of Bitcoin in order to enable more transactions. So Lightning is one of two right now, I guess, layer twos on top of Bitcoin. And Lightning is not a token, it's not a blockchain, it's a communication protocol. And it works by locking in Bitcoins. So if I have some Bitcoin and I create a channel with you, well, we can now start exchanging Bitcoin nearly basically for free, instantly. And at any point, we don't have to, we can both just say, okay, I want my Bitcoin back. We close the channel, we're back to where we were. And this channel is basically a multi-signature contract. So it's a smart contract that enables a communication between two parties. But what makes the Lightning Network so powerful is this thing called the gossip protocol, which means that if I'm connected with Alice, and you are not, and you're connected through a channel with Bob, and I am not, well, Alice and Bob can still send Satoshis to each other because me and you, me and Jacqui are connected through the Lightning Network. So the gossip protocol makes it possible for people that are connected to the network to send Satoshis to pretty much everyone else within the network, as long as the two parties are connected through other people that are running nodes and having channels. So it's basically this. And if you look at the history of finance, every single financial system has existed in these layered systems. So people that in crypto often say, oh, we don't need, Bitcoin is too slow, or we have this new blockchain that is super fast, or it has micropayments and whatever. But the problem is they don't understand that the Bitcoin is a sort of solid rock that its function is to remain neutral, to remain unchangeable, and to remain the system that is, because it's decentralized, to remain incorruptible. And then on top of that, you can see it as like the gold, you cannot corrupt the nature of gold, just like you cannot corrupt the nature of Bitcoin. And then on top of Bitcoin, we have the solution to make Bitcoin usable, scalable, instant, usable all across the world instantly. So that's also why I was super fascinated by Lightning and Bitcoin, and why I think it will be the next why I'm dedicating my life pretty much to it right now.
Yeah, I loved how you explained that. It really helped me understand it better too. I mean, my understanding of Lightning was a little bit more simple. I kept thinking of it like how I tried to describe it to some people. It's like a gift card. You're able to put a certain amount on the gift card and control who
Yeah.
you're giving it to. But when you explain the fact that you're also able to be able to communicate with other people within the network and share, that's something I didn't know about. So I'm looking forward as I explore Lightning and using my node and kind of going down this path. I'm excited to learn more about this. So for those that are on the visual, again, I have the audio pop over to the video. But again, Geyser is you're able to put your real life projects on here, and on the platform. It also talks, do you want to briefly mention about the grant side of it? Because I was exploring while you were talking, and I was very curious about the Geyser grants. Talk a little bit more
Yeah.
about that.
So Geyser grants so Geyser, the main platform, is really all about launching your ideas and crowdfunding. And then Geyser grants is our attempt to make it easier for Bitcoin creators to get started and monetize. So what we do with Geyser grants is that we partner with other Bitcoin companies that want to sponsor themselves, that want to put themselves out there, and we collect these and pool funds together that goes out to specific grant initiatives. And we look at these different verticals within Bitcoin. So we look at gaming, we look at filmmaking. Hopefully one day we'll have a grant for writers as well. And it's a place where then once there is one of the grants, you can essentially apply to be eligible. And then we have two systems in place to essentially to divide up the funds. Either we have a board, a board that evaluates the applicants, or if you look at the latest grant, the gaming grant, if you click on that, you'll be able to see that in this case, this is called a community voting grant, which basically means the community votes for how the funds are distributed. So in this case, we had 10 million sats of worth of grants, and the community donated 16 million sats to vote for their favorite projects. So it's essentially the community votes by sending sats, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I'm personally interested in the film side because I have a vision that the Bitcoin Cinderella will one day be a film. And so I'm, very interested in looking at when and how to apply for that because of the fact that I have different people in the film industry that I would love to be able to say, hey, let's make this happen. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll definitely be exploring this, as I kind of upload my project to Geyser.
Sounds great. All those grants are, by the way, just to clarify, they're all finished, but
Yeah.
we plan to roll out more and more grants as we go forward.
Yeah, for sure. Any last minute thoughts before we sign off? I know that you and I talked about the fact that I'm going to have a part 2 to our little conversation because I'm going to upload a little short episode about my project so people can see how a project actually gets uploaded and is easy to do. I'm just waiting for my node and my Lightning wallet so that way I can kind of stumble through this and show everyone it's really not that hard. If I can do it, you can do it. So any last minute thoughts before we sign off?
No, I think that's pretty much it. It was a pleasure to chat. I'll probably just say that it's always hard to get out there and do your thing, but all of us are creators at heart. All of us have ideas and want to be able to contribute in some shape or form. And guys are just a way to make it easy for you to just put your idea out there. And so, yeah, don't be scared to get out there and put your ideas out there. And because it's only by putting it out there that people will be able to contribute, provide feedback, and you'll be able to see if if the idea is worth continuing, and most often time it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, the inventors that we think about who for the products that we're using, it wasn't the first time that they created this. They had their failures, they tweaked it, and then they went on, and that's all part of development and creativity. It's not always right out of the bat.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
So for everyone who's listening, definitely everything will be embedded below. So definitely click on the links, email if you have questions, do your research. Remember, these shows are not investment advice, they're not legal advice, they're not financial advice, but it's definitely something to explore, especially if you've been curious. Take a look and see if it can help you. So thank you, everyone. And as I always say at the end of every show, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We're all so interconnected and we're all part of one world. Have a great day. Thanks.